the first half of the meeting with our S4TL. So we have Jamel and Aspen. Thanks a lot for taking the time to join us tonight. And we also have Suzanne who is on. So Suzanne will basically introduce our S4TL. And so we're gonna have a hard stop at 7:30 because we also have a special night where we would like to have a visual tribute for our past district governor, Doug Maymon. And we have Debbie on, so we would like one more time to address our condolence to Debbie. And our heart is with you, Debbie, during this difficult time. And we really appreciate the fact that you are able to join us tonight.
Thank you.
So without further ado, I will hand over to Suzanne to introduce our S4TL's student.
Well, I think that I can tell you that I spent a nice hour or two in the car with them. So Aspen and Jamel both were sponsored by our club, and that was for S4TL, which is leadership training for leaders of tomorrow. And these two young ladies come from the Gibbs Magnet School in St. Petersburg, Florida, and they were both recommended to us by the principal, Ian Call, Dr. Call. And so they were both interested very much in coming, and they spent a week in Lakeland, Florida. We used to have a member, Earl Halley, who was the cook for many of these events. S4TL, he loved it. And in his name, we had in our club established a scholarship. And lucky girls this year, or this past year, 2023, because we had no youth exchange to sponsor. So we were able to sponsor two of you, which was a lucky thing. When we brought them there, at first all the students were taken to different places. And I think they were both a little worried about where everybody was going, but they found their way very, very fast. And when we picked them up, they had diplomas in hand. There was a big graduation, and everybody was very, very happy. I took my friend Angela, who gives her regrets of not being able to be there tonight, but she said she would love to hear what the girls had to say. So she will obviously hear all about it, and we're very excited that we got to have some leaders of tomorrow back after that week of spending time in Lakeland. So I'm very, very happy as the youth exchange or the youth person in our club to welcome you too. And I'm sure that in the last half year, you're both, I don't know if you're both seniors at Net, you are, right? You're graduating now. So they are very, very busy with their exams going into a new life this coming summer. So I'm sure that they'll tell us all about that. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. So Jamel, Aspen, who is going to start. So
come on, we'll flip a coin.
Don't be shy. I think you need to open your mic.
Yeah, one of you at least.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just. So, like Miss Suzanne said, like going into it was actually like completely the opposite of what we had expected. We were expecting to room together. So when we found out that we would be in like color groups and dorm rooms with complete strangers, basically, we were shocked and worried. Like I remember hearing it and I was like, who am I going to talk to? I'm not gonna have any friends. But that whole week, it was just full of interactions, full of reaching out to people that were basically across the state. And there was even someone from North Carolina, I'm pretty sure. And I didn't expect to be I didn't expect to go into such deep conversations with everyone. I remember.
Jamel, 1 second before you end up with this, we have to say hello to Ed Hallock, because
Yeah.
Ed is our district chair for S4TL, and welcome Ed as a guest tonight as well. And this is a Rotarian who spends every year with all of this. And I know that this past year you started with us, we met you, but I think you actually were not there as much as you would like to have been, right?
Well, yeah, I ended up leaving on Thursday afternoon. I had had sinus surgery a week or two before, and I had a major nosebleed, and unfortunately had to leave before they graduated. But I got to meet most of the delegates and spend time with them, and you sent us two wonderful ones. I was a little concerned when Jamel and Aspen were no one stepped up to go first because I thought we taught them to be leaders, and I expected them to be fighting over who was going first, but that's okay.
Well, they're also very well socialized girls, and I think they're as polite as can be. So we should thank them for that.
And the interesting thing is the kids that come from the same school all think they're going to room together. That never happens. We want you to meet other people. We put them in different color groups, different dorm groups, just for that reason, so that they get to kind of get out of the box a little bit.
Well, thank you for guiding them. So let's get Jamel here on the road.
I don't want to speak too much about the week, just so Aspen can also have points to talk about. But my favorite part was honestly like not having my phone throughout the whole day, because that made me really connect with all of the wonderful speakers that spoke. And I first thought I would be dreadful being in that room, the seminar room, for hours without my phone, but reconnecting with other people was great. And then all of the activities we had, especially the rap sessions where I was like trying to talk about how we went into deep conversations and had Rotarians be able to listen to our generation more, I think was also wonderful. But I think I could like talk better if I had questions asked. I think Aspen, if you want.
Let's ask you about what kind of presentations were happening. Who spoke to you? What was the idea behind that, and how did you all work with what you heard?
I think it was Arik or Eric, I forgot his last name, but I think him as a speaker, he was the one where I really had to go outside of my like comfortable box, because he had us dance in a line in front of all the other delegates. And I was very embarrassed to dance and show off any moves in front of everyone, but that just showed me that you have to be confident in yourself and take action.
Excellent. That's great. So
maybe we should get Aspen involved here and help out. What did you answer the same kinds of questions, perhaps, Aspen?
Yeah, so I kind of just want to give like a brief overview, kind of like how Jamel did. Like she was saying, like we get taken, like luckily, Miss Suzanne brought us there early, so we didn't get like rushed per se, where like all the people who are volunteering there, they come in and then like a lot of people end up sleeping in the cars on the way there. And so like these people like rush the doors that are banging and everything. Luckily, we didn't have to go through that. But it is very different because you see all these people like that you don't know. They're all like coming and you see like these people rushing cars, and it was all very intimidating. And then we were like, well, are we gonna at least be together? And we're not, and we're with people that we don't know, with leaders that we don't know. And then to even separate us further, we're not even with the people that we're in the dorms with, or like color groups, which they call it. We're with completely different people. And so we get to interact with so many other people just throughout the event. Like you would think that there wasn't many opportunities to interact because you have like your set color group and your set dorm. However, like Jamal was saying, we have the rap sessions. We did 3 of those. Those are basically where you can like the first day it's kind of like light conversations and like anyone can really like talk and just have like a huge group discussion. But like by day 3, people were talking about bigger issues, like really just like letting their heart out. And to me, that it just seems so crazy that people you knew for 4 days, like you can tell them things that you probably haven't told to like your parents or even your other close friends, that you've built such a trust with these people, and that like you feel that you can just express these emotions because the people around you are there for you and they're going to continue to build you up, just like how any leader should just want to build up the people around them. And same with like the whole set like the actual seminar part of it. We weren't like in the chairs for like great amount of time. A lot of the speakers, they let us we did like interactive exercises. We did plenty of like getting to mingle with so many other people that were outside of our color group, outside of our dorms. And it really just opened your eyes to like the type of people that are out there. Like for me, like I would consider myself a decently sociable person, but that experience really opened my eyes to so many different people and so many different walks of life that it was just really eye-opening. And I walked away with a completely different perspective of different types of people, of what it means to be a leader, of what it just means to be a friend or someone that's there to talk to. And it really is carried on with what I'm like continuing to do now. And even at that, like there was so many opportunities where we were building each other up, and it was just a completely positive environment, which is really nice to see, especially in a generation that feels like we're so alone, that we're really not alone, and that there's so many people that are like so many people that you wouldn't expect to act the way they do, and they really surprise you, and that really just gives you a new outlook on people, and not to take somebody by surface image and really just get to know them like how any leader leader should. um but overall it was a really just great experience for me. I really feel like it is going to be a part of me that I will continue to carry on later in life. And even the relationships with the people that I've made, I'm still in contact with so many of them, like even through social media, like I'll go comment like on a post or something, like I still like bring them up. And it's just, I just love how much it changed my perspective on people, how people react with others and how I react with others.
So, Ed, was that the point?
Absolutely. So I'll throw a question out to Aspen, kind of the same one we gave Jamal. Favorite speaker or most impactful speaker, and why?
Ooh, this one I would say is hard. A lot of them were pretty good. The first one that we had, I know he's local, like in Treasure Island, and I live close to the beach, like in Indian Rocks. But they have him every year. He really just set the tone for the week. I feel bad that I can't remember his
Bobby
name, but then
Bobby
there
Petrus
was
Bobby Petroselli.
yeah,
You matter. You
he
matter.
yes.
Yeah.
He did a really good job of setting the tone for the week. But another one that impacted me a lot was it was one of the women speakers, because we didn't have too many women speakers. It was when she had lost her sister in a car accident. She really impacted me just because like her story was very touching, and it like in the way that she's devoted her life in order to get her sister's story known just really was inspiring, because I lost a family member to a vehicle crash, and that was really hard on me. And it sometimes like I feel like I didn't get a good relationship with my cousin, or sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough to remember them. And just to see what she did and what she continues to do and how she continues to impact people in a positive way, even though there was something negative that happened in her life, really is just inspiring, because it shows you that you can take negatives and turn them into major impactful positives, rather than just letting yourself take that grief on or take those problems to heart and just let yourself get down about them. But she went out and she did something about it. It doesn't mean that she still doesn't grieve, but she's grown. Her grief hasn't grown, but like she's grown through it, and she's using that to help so many others who might have something similar. And for me, that really just stuck with me.
Well, this program is offered every year, and we're again at this point where we're starting to look. I think Ed has sent out, go find a great candidate. So I'm really happy. And both of them are in Interact, which is also important to us because that means that the school supports Rotary and the kids are already involved and continue. So that's great. So.
So I have a couple questions, at least one for each. Jamil, I'm going to start with you. So you said I have both your bios, and on yours, you said that let's see, one of your proudest accomplishments, you were a VP in Interact and student government. This really caught my eye as well as founding your school's first medical club. So can you join what you learned in S4TL and interact that with starting of this medical club? Because that fascinates me.
Yeah, so I've been interested in opening like a medical club at our school because our school has like a lot of science extracurriculars, but there was never really one exactly for people wanting to go into the medical field. And from S4TL, another big saying was that you should just act on it and be confident. And I honestly didn't think that I was confident enough to actually make or form a club, but I've been bold with actions this senior year. And so I decided to open a club with my friends who were interested into the medical field. And so being at S4TL really just pushes you to act on things that you want to change. And that's why I decided to open the medical club at my school. And the medical club, it's HOSA, which is Health Occupation Students of America. And it has students who you can choose to compete in the states or county areas. And you can also win scholarships for your school. And overall, it's a good experience for anyone who wants to go and venture out as a medical professional.
Very cool. Very cool. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then Aspen. So I have your bio, and I see that you play softball and you spend a lot of your free time giving catching lessons as well as being umpire. So how you bring those two together?
So specifically for softball, it is my senior year, so I really use that as like my ability to show like seniority in a way, because that's how we level it for high school softball. But I also use it as a way to like lead the team, especially like younger girls who maybe are a little bit shy. Like I was having to deal with that today. Just continuously like uplifting our team, making sure that like, because we are a family, not just a team, and just kind of taking not control but making sure that things get done a certain way, and things that we need to get done, but also lifting everybody up, making sure like if they messed up, be like, hey, it's okay to learn from, you can learn from your mistakes, like you got this next play. And then going to the catching lessons and umpiring. So I've played softball since I was in fifth grade. And so one thing for me is like I always saw umpires and they were like not necessarily the greatest. So for me, it was something bigger. I really wanted to start doing it so that a lot of these like younger girls would have somebody to look up to, because for me, there wasn't really any female umpires and you never really saw that, especially in like youth leagues and everything. It was always older males. And so some of the first times that I ever really started umpiring, a lot of the girls, they were like, we have a girl umpire, like they would get so excited, and that always just makes me so happy, and it makes them a lot more comfortable. And I just love being able to change like the narrative of like all umpires are like men or something like that, and while also giving back to something that really has changed my life. Like playing softball has definitely helped me become the person that I am. And then I'm also a catcher, so along with umpiring, playing myself for like two different teams, I try to give lessons on the side, one to help me get volunteer hours, but for me, like it's really important to see people like have like that one-on-one kind of relationship with people. And for catchers, you don't really see many like catching lessons, and a lot of coaches, they were never really catchers. So a lot of the younger girls are really in the dark unless they go pay some amounts of money to go get somebody who can coach them, but that's not accessible for everybody. And it sometimes it makes people feel like that they're not going to be good enough if they can't go to that level. And so being able to provide those types of lessons from somebody who is closer to their age, who knows what she's doing, who's been there, who's been through so many different stages, is really just rewarding to see them. Like when I teach them something new, or when I like help them through something, just like the way their face lights up and how their whole perspective changes really is like it warms my heart. And I'm just so thankful that I have opportunities like this, whether it's umpiring, playing softball, or giving catching lessons, or even sometimes I do like just coach, just to give back to other people while being a good role model for them.
Awesome.
Excellent.
We did post their bio somewhere, yes?
I have them in hand, and I will be posting them on our bulletin.
On the web.
Okay, great. So
Is
anyway,
there any more question for Aspen and Jamel?
where's the next
What?
place you're going to go? I'm sorry, Raymond.
Yeah, that was my question.
What's next?
What's next?
Jamel?
Well, since like I am vice president in Interact, I'm using the leadership skills that I've got from S4TL to actually like have more of our seniors or anyone who's in Interact sorry have more of literally like all of the student body communicate with each other to be able to contribute to the society. I know part of Interact, I've recently been at the Rotary Club by my school, like at the American House Center, and they've been asking us for help on making Rotary known to the students and emphasizing what Interact does and like service above self. But other than that, a problem or like a challenge that I've had recently with like other school clubs is that my senior class honestly does not interact as much as a high school grade should. And Aspen knows this. We've literally been complaining about it. And it's sad to see. So I like with this S4TL resurfacing, I want to use what I learned so we can rally up these students and have us all happy again and have that maybe like a similar experience to what we even had at S4TL. But I know my counselors also posted a leadership thing at University of Tampa. So I'm also thinking about going into that just to extend whatever I already have.
So University of Tampa is next for you? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that's what you meant by next.
That's one of the things we meant. Yeah, I think so. We're curious on where you're headed because you have like a few months, and then where is Jamel and where's Aspen going?
So, I mean, my top two choices so far are UF, which the decisions haven't come yet. That's in a couple of weeks. And then USF, their health science department is, I guess, just as good from what I've heard. So hopefully.
So medicine, not only the club, but also your own future in medicine. That's what you want. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Go Gators.
For me, my next step is I'm looking forward to trying to get into UF. I mean, not UF, USF. I was kind of late trying to apply there. So, but they do have rolling admission until March. I'm just still waiting to hear back to see if I got accepted or not. I was just a little behind the ball when it came to applying for colleges and everything, just because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I was just it was just all nerve-wracking trying to apply for a college or try to figure out my next step in life when I myself didn't even really know what I had an interest in. But as of right now, I'm hoping that if I do get into USF, that I can major in marine biology. And that's always been something that I really enjoy and that I really love. Just I feel like I have a really good connection with like the ocean and just like coastal areas. Like it's always just been part of me. And there's so many, especially for the community, like the area that we live in, it's we're surrounded by coast. Like Florida is almost all coast because we're a peninsula. There's so many islands. But what people don't understand is like they're so underinformed about how we can take care of our oceans, how we can better protect sea life, how we can better protect just nature in general. And so for me, my hopes of becoming a marine biologist would be to better educate people about the vast types of um marine life that affect what we do. And then same with like springs. Springs are one of the most useful resources to for us Floridians. It provides 90% of our drinking water. And a lot of times we often overuse them, or we don't really know how they're formed, or we don't really know much about them. We just see them as something that's like cold and refreshing in the summertime. But they are diverse ecosystems and they need to be protected and they need to be preserved. Same with our beaches, same with like the dunes and stuff. When the hurricane came, a lot of our sand dunes were completely destroyed. And so they've tried to come in and make new like man-made dunes in order to help protect the environment around us. And for me, I really just want to give back to something that gives us so much because nature really does give us so much. And I feel like sometimes like we don't try hard enough to give back. We just kind of accept it, but we don't try to like give anything in return. We're like, oh, thanks for all the gifts. Like you can stay there. But I just really want to give back to nature. And so for me, I think trying to use like my community and my and my hopefully future knowledge to give back is something that I'm really looking forward to.
I
Wow,
think that
amazing.
if you make that speech to anybody at USF, you should actually get in, right, guys?
For sure.
Yeah,
Well,
for
good luck with that.
sure. And yeah, thanks a lot for saving the world, so
Well, she's trying.
yeah, but the simple fact is trying. We're gonna say that she's almost done. So we really appreciate and your passion. So I think it's perfect timing now. Thank you, Jamel. Thank you, Aspen, for being there. And so we hope to see you again and enjoy, everything that you learn. And it's really exciting to see how you apply all those concepts already in your daily life. So you are more than welcome to stay with us. Now we are moving to our second part of the meeting, where we will mainly have our tribute for our past district governors, Doug Maymon. So thank you, Secretary Alicia, and as President Andy. So I will hand over to you so that we can now move into our second part of the meeting. I think, Alicia, you are on mute. We can't hear you, Alicia.
She's coming on.
So just give me one moment. I just have to queue everything up. And I would ask that everybody put their screens on mute, please.
Thank you. Andy, we have Andy Person.
I'm here.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. I suppose I can start out. I might have not known Doug as long as maybe several of you, but I did know Doug a long time. First of all, I want to welcome, first and foremost, past District Governor Deb Maymon, and forgive me if I didn't see all your pictures up here. Past District Governor Mike, Tim, Debbie, Will, Ellen, Vince, Todd, Tim, there might be one or two more. Wow, that's a lot of PDGs on one call. From all of you, probably have over 100 years of experience between zones, areas, and clubs. So I want to thank you. It's an incredible turnout. We would be proud in 6990, 6950, 6930, and all of the other Rotary districts throughout Florida, the Caribbean, Georgia, and really all around the world. Because you know what? Doug touched everybody all around the world. His presence was always there. Something I just saw today I want to share with you. The Rotary way is to light a candle. I light one, you light one. Over 1.3 million Rotarians light one. Together, we light one up tonight for Doug Maymon and Debbie and the world. Here we are tonight celebrating an icon. Again, somebody I had the distinct pleasure and honor to be his AG for 3 years in 6990. And I know many of you I've worked with, including past District Governor Ellen and Mike and several of others, including Todd. Todd, hi, welcome. And this is a celebration of life. I know I've been crying the last couple of days. I think about that wonderful man. I call him my little Hemingway. And meeting him so many years ago, one of the first times I met Doug and Deb was at American Intercontinental University, where as a professor there, I was able to have the Sunshine Division come and do RLI. And going in and seeing Debbie doing registration at the desk, Deb, incredible, making sure everybody got their lanyards, getting everybody in the right room, and Doug going around, ringing that little bell of his to make sure all the facilitators, all the RLI people, Rotarians were all in the right room. I watched that, and I went through the training too to become a facilitator. And Doug was really a mentor. He taught me so much about Rotary in the many years I was with 6990, and then with 6930, and then 6950. Doug and Deb are an icon. We've had a couple of couples who are Rotarians, but Deb Maymon and Debbie certainly will stand out for what they've done in the district, for zone, everything from polio, everything from membership drives, everything to make our clubs better and to make communications better amongst each other. Doug was always one to approach. He had an open door policy. You could always reach him, talk to him. He would sit down, his eyes glowing, asking you what you wanted to do, how you wanted to get there, and leading you along the way for your Rotary ride, for whatever you wanted to do, however you saw yourself in Rotary. Doug Maymon was there. And lately, I've had the honor to be also in part of Doug's life with Animal Musing. I'm very big on LinkedIn. I have a lot of followers. I know Doug and Deb do too. One thing I'm going to miss so much recently is every time I post so many things on LinkedIn, Doug's always the first one to go on there and like it. Every day I'm seeing Doug and Deb going on and liking whatever it was. And I would go back and love everything, and read animal musings and see the journals of the most credible horses and animals you've ever seen. And again, if you haven't read Animal Musings, you got to pick up a copy. It's on Amazon. Go there tonight and pick one up in memory of Doug. Doug's incredible. And he will forever, of all the people I've probably known in Rotary, Doug is one I will forever be indebted to for making me a better person, a better Rotarian, and somebody to not only believe in myself, believe in the Rotary journey, to believe in the community, and most importantly, believe in giving of oneself. Doug was always open up to do that. He gave it unselfishly to so many people, hundreds of people, thousands of people. In the cruises he went on, the people he met, he and Deb, they touched so many lives. So for that candle we lit tonight, we're lighting a candle again for Doug, for Rotary, for all of ourselves, the future Rotarians, and for those to make a better life, a better community, and a better world. Hear, hear, Doug, as we always say in 6990, when we pick up our glass and we shout out to the district and to, in this case, His Majesty. Here's to you, Doug. We love you, we honor you, and up in Rotary Club in heaven, you're going to be the best district governor and area leader the world has ever known. Thank you, Gov, and we love you. I want to turn it over. This is a night of celebration, so I'm going to be quiet now. I want to turn it over, hopefully, to Deb. And we have so many past district governors and leaders and past presidents from 6990 and those who know you in 6950, and all the governors who were in so many districts who knew and worked with Doug as a teammate and as a district mate and so forth. So please open up your mics, share your love for Doug and your experience tonight. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, everybody. And here's to you, Doug. We love you.
I know I'm not Deb, I'm Jocelyn Chapman, but I gotta tell you that Doug Maymon made my life as a district governor's spouse an absolute riot. We had more fun and more laughs than the law should allow. And the thing that I will remember most of Doug and Deb are their good humor, their laughter, and their love. And to that, there's nothing else I can say. Deb, we love you. We miss Doug, but he will be with us all forever.
Thanks, Jocelyn. You just saved me here. At least let me catch my breath for a second. First I want to thank all my classmates that are on here. It's amazing. I think Andrew, you forgot a couple, but
Yeah.
Marshall's one of my classmates. So is Pam. So is Mike. And if I'm missing one, I'm sorry. But they're all my governor classmates. And then I've got friends on here, Carol Martin, who's hiding down there, and Kyle Hackley up at the top. Kyle actually was real involved with Animal Musings with Doug. And so hopefully she'll keep it going, because the two of them are the ones that did a lot of that. And then there's so many other friends, the Schulers and Todd Dayton and good old Ellen Blossy there. I was her district secretary once, long ago. She rooked me into it. But there's so many good friends on here, and you know, words don't even express how much I appreciate it. But I do.
Love you, Debbie. And we love Doug. We love Doug. The one thing about Doug Maymon is, and those of you who know me, and Debbie and I know each other very well, and Andrew and Todd, is it's got to be fun. And Doug was a lot of fun. He could make everything fun. he was an incredibly special person. And he will be missed. And we love you, Deb.
Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you so much. We love you, Deb, and we are here for you. And I did not get the chance to spend a lot of time with you and Doug, but I would say it was quality time. I really enjoy, the conversation I had with you and Doug. And as mentioned earlier, when we meet Debbie and we meet Doug, it's all about kindness and love. So this is something that really touched my heart. And I hope we are going to be able to help you during this time. And we will always remember that Doug is always with us. And now you can bring him everywhere you go. He is with you, David.
I also wanted to thank Alicia and Will and those involved, Andrew, for putting this together, because it's much appreciated. Getting everybody together. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Deb, I was trying to find some videos of Doug. I tried to reach out to you. I don't know if you got my email, but I couldn't find anything. And I'm sure there are some. Maybe we'll get to see some, or if you have some to share later on over the years. Doug and all his wonderful cruises and everything that you did. So if you have some stuff, we'd love to put them on the E-Club website and share them. I couldn't find any, but I'm sure you got some hanging around somewhere.
But we have a lot of pictures, and
Okay.
actually, you guys captured like the ones with us looking like hippies was from my district. That was from my district conference, and the cruise pictures you took. We just did a cruise, our last cruise, as it turns out, November for my 70th birthday. Yeah, I'm 70. I'm sorry.
Happy
but,
birthday.
I put it out there, but we had a great time, and some of those pictures that you captured, and they were from that very last cruise we took. So. You did have some really good ones. I don't know of any videos. Neither one of us were big into taking videos. Pictures, yes, I took a lot, but not so much on the videos.
Oh.
But his best favorite photo of all those that you had on the presentation was his Hemingway one.
Mm.
I took that a year or so ago at Disney. We were up there meeting our son and grandson and family, and it just turned out, it was a one picture where Doug's eyes were open and he didn't have a horrible smile and he just looked good. And, we called it his Hemingway photo. He actually put that on his Facebook page. He really liked that photo. So when I put the Facebook announcement out that I guess many of you saw, that's one of the big picture I used, because it had to be one of the most favorite recent photos, that we took of him that he actually liked and I liked. So I appreciate it all. Thank you very much.
My little Hemingway. How about some other, can we have anybody else would like to chime in? We certainly have some time. Will, anybody, friends? I know David Croner, I know you remember. Doug, anybody like to, any experiences, any thoughts, any laughs? I know Debbie would love to hear them. I know you have millions of them. So don't be shy. We're all Rotarians. We're all family. So speak up. We'd love to hear them.
Andy, I'll just share a couple of things. Early in my Rotary journey, as I went to Pets, I saw Deb there. And I thought, gosh, she's at the lead table there. She must be very important. And then later on, I saw this other Maymon person character, yeah. And I said, wow, these people are just powerhouses. I mean, Doug's important too. So that was my first impression. And in the final analysis, you both have been so important to your districts and to Rotary, and for that I thank you. And I'm just so pleased that you're both in the club.
Thank you. We were too.
Is my mic working? There we go.
We hear you.
Yeah, this is Tim. I first met Doug and Debbie in 2007 at the Salt Lake City convention. Doug was chief of staff for my classmate, Jim Norton, and we all went out to dinner one night. I had never heard of a chief of staff for a governor at that point, but listening to all the ideas that Jim and Doug had, I came back and created one in my own district. We've had one ever since. But Doug followed me, one chairman after with RLI as Sunshine Division chairman, training chair for pets, ultimately as chairman for pets. And we shared a lot of, commonalities, getting things started, getting RLI actually started down at District 6990. And, one thing is, rarely did you see Doug without seeing Debbie. They were a team. It was great from the RLI perspective to have them as a team. Debbie was our RLI Sunshine Division registrar, and then she was our pets registrar for a while, actually for a long, long time. And we miss you, Deb. We miss you badly, pets. You got to come back. But Doug was always there, and all of the times that Debbie was there working on pets, doing the registrar stuff, Doug would be in the office, keeping us all in stitches with his dry humor and keeping everybody going. And it was a pleasure working with both of them. And Debbie, all I can say to you is, as we all have our great memories of Doug, and we'll continually remember the great things that we enjoyed with him and shared with him. There are many. Those are the same things that are going to tide you over, the good memories. And we love you, babe.
Thank you.
Do we have?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Go, Vince.
I can't remember when I met Doug and Debbie, but I think it was during RLI, and when I became a discussion leader, and then going through the governor corps at Pets, because Doug was district governor the year after I was, and got to know he and Debbie really well. And the one thing that I'll never forget, and it wasn't a particular situation or a particular event, but just in general, was his quick wit and his sense of humor. I think he was one of the few people that would offer you some kind of words to get you to laugh, even if it was something critical about you or making fun of you or something, which, I don't know, this is going to sound really weird, but I'll say it anyway. Sometimes you don't realize that those things are really important in your life until it's too late. And, you might think back and say, well, I didn't really appreciate what that person said and everything, but Doug had a way of making you laugh, even if it was something that wasn't what you expected to hear. And that's the best way I can say it. And I'll miss him greatly, and as you all will. And we love you, Deb.
Thank you.
David is raising his hand.
They're muted.
Do we have anybody else?
Pam and David, but they're both muted.
They're both muted.
I will unmute. I'm looking at the date, and it's 2024, and it's probably 10 years ago as district governors, we started out doing our training, getting ready for 16, 17. So, Deb, you've been in my thoughts and prayers since I heard the news, and I will always remember you two lovebirds is what I called you. always together, no, not ever finding one without the other one. So from someone who just can sit back and observe her classmates, my life has been enriched for many and all of my classmates, but definitely thank you and him for the friendship that we shared. So I'm still here in Georgia. You want to come up and get away for a weekend? Come on. We'll go to the beach in Georgia instead of Florida if you want. But I'm here for you. Just pick up the phone and call me.
Thanks, Pam. Much appreciated.
Love you.
Love you too.
Deb, my condolences for your loss. For those of you who have had a chance to meet Doug in real life, there was a pleasant intensity that did not transmit well in this format. I remember that Doug, and I don't know how much Deb did in taking the bylaws for the district over decades and consolidating, updating them, and making them modern and functional. And for that, thank you very much for those efforts.
Yeah, he enjoyed doing stuff like that. He definitely did. Pam, to your point, you said we were always together. Doug's favorite saying to people when they asked about us meeting said, I followed him home from the movies one day and didn't leave. I don't know where he came up with that, but that was one of his favorite things. But the last 6 months, we had several good trips. I retired about 4 years ago so we could travel, and for his birthday last year, I took him to the tour of all the bourbon distilleries around Louisville. Not all of them, 5 of them, which he thoroughly enjoyed because he really liked bourbon and rye. And so he really enjoyed that. And, of course, then we had to go see the kids in Eastern North Carolina while we were, make a nice big round trip of it. And then in November, for my 70th, we did a 2-week cruise, and we actually upgraded and got a bigger room, like a suite kind of, and it was fabulous. We really had a great time. Went to the Vatican, and Doug in the Vatican, some of you would just not believe he survived that, but he did. And saw some things like Pisa and things we hadn't seen before. It was a great trip. And then on Christmas, we went back up to North Carolina, spent time with the family. It was the first time, the little one's 6, and it was the first time we'd been there for Christmas. Usually we went at Thanksgiving, but at Thanksgiving we were on our cruise, so we went for Christmas this year. So, we had a lot of good times in the last 6 months. And for those of you that didn't get the personal details of what happened, it was quick. Basically, he had a bad fall, and long story short, ended up passing away on the operating table. But the doctors assured me he felt no pain, and it was really, really quick, like less than half a day, and he was gone. So, but which is a blessing. You see so many people linger and have other issues, and for him, that was definitely a blessing. He wouldn't have wanted it any other way. So I thank everybody for being here and all the comments. They've been great. And again, to all my classmates, it's so good to see you all. Both Chapmans and Marshall and Pam, love seeing you. It's great to have the support, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
You will always be one of my classmates too.
Okay. Well, you had to put up with Doug, so.
Oh, no. Oh, I had so much fun in that class sitting next to Doug. You can only imagine how much mischief we got into.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I remember.
Our prayers are with you.
Deb, is there anything we can do in Doug's memory, foundation, anything? What would Doug like us to do for Rotary, whatever? Could you?
Those of you who want, the only thing I asked is if you wanted to do something, give donations to the foundation.
Okay.
And some people have done that. Even people who aren't Rotarians, have a couple of people who are Rotarians actually did that. So, he would greatly appreciate that. So
great. Thank you.
Actually,
do that
Debbie,
tomorrow.
we're talking in the club, and I want to talk to you further along with Michaela and some of the other BOD members, but we would like to talk to you about starting a scholarship through the club in Doug's name.
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful.
So we'll talk a
Because
little bit further about the details later.
He was really big on the Rotary clubs and giving scholarships. So yeah, it was one of his favorite things. So that would be wonderful.
Thank you for giving your blessing. I really appreciate.
You're welcome.
Good night, my friend.
Thank you.
Deb.
Thank
To
you.
our guest, thanks a lot for coming tonight. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to be with us tonight. Big thank you again to Secretary Alicia for putting everything together. And so we are going to end with our 4-way test. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Build goodwill and friendship. Will it be beneficial to
all concerned?
And is it fun?
Fun.
Doug said,
Excellent.
will it be fun?
Yes.
Love you, Deb.
Thanks, everybody.
Love you, Deb.
Thank you, everyone.
Love you,
Deb.
Love you, Deb.
Board member, if you maybe we take 5-minute break for the board member.
Thank you.
Thank you.